Monterey County runs on roads. This is road science.
We have actually picked 8 different locations for this stretch of road here on River Road between Las Palmas Road and Las Palmas Parkway. So this is the first location that we're coring. That's the core machine here. The length of the road is about 1.8 miles. It's like I have a diamond head, so the core machine basically go through the asphalt, which is really hard material. The reason we picked 8 different locations based on our observation where the road is failing. We pick the location and then we will core. Now we're basically coring the top surface, which is the asphalt. It's the hard material. See that there's approximately about 4 to 5 inches of existing asphalt, followed by 6 inches of, they call it base rock material. And right underneath that, it's what you call the sub-base, which is kind of a sandy material. And below that, it was clay material. The asphalt, the heavy material. Okay, so we're about 4 or 5 inches. Then we got into some sandy soil with little clay in it. We got little moisture in it. And then of course we got below that a little darker. You could see how dark the material is. We'll see it on the next one as well. Okay. Let's go a little further back, just how this whole thing starts. So, I mean, basically what determined for us to do something on the road is because the road is failing. As you can see, there's a lot of what you call alligator cracks. That's called alligator crack. The deformation on the road, and that's due to a variation of things. One is there's more cars on the road, there's more heavy vehicle on the road. Monterey County in general has a lot of farm field, so there's a lot of moisture and water kind of penetrate under the roadway, and then that's what causes also sometimes the failure. Also, there's the soil itself is not as strong as normal soil is. This is more of a silty clay area over here, so there's a lot of moisture content in it, and once this happens then it starts sinking, and when it sinks then you'll see a lot of failure and crack. There you go, Julie. Remember we saw that on the other one? Yeah. See how this is like really fine material, so it's like the difference. Remember we showed this before? Go like this one has some moisture. It crumbles in your hand. This one's solid. It's really solid material. This is good materials. We in the County of Monterey, the Department of Public Works, we do what you call a PMS, Pavement Management Study, every 5 years to determine how bad the roadways we have in here, and we classify them from 1 to 100. 100 mean the best. 50 is like so-and-so, and anything below 50 is kind of pretty bad. So we maintain approximately about 1,237 miles of roadway in the County of Monterey. So what we did is we looked at all the road that basically falls below like 35 and 30, and then we determined that these are the busy road that we need to do something about it. Every year we have one person, an engineer, that goes out and count cars. He put tube out on the road or radars, and then they count how many cars travel the roadway per day. They call it average daily traffic. And then once they do that, then we can determine every year how many more cars are traveling any particular road. For instance, this one here is River Road between Las Palmas Road and Las Palmas Parkway. So we could see that there's more cars, whether it's 10% or 20% more, on more heavy vehicles. So we classify them what you call 2-axial, 3-axial, 4-axial, 5-axial. That's cars, SUVs, truck, heavy vehicle, buses, semis, and then once we determine how many cars are traveling and the axial load, then we have something called TI, traffic index. The traffic index basically it goes from 1 also to like 50, and the bigger the traffic index, that means you have to have the road is failing. That means you have to bridge it and then I guess design for a very thick pavement and base or sub-base or whatever that is. Then after that, we hire a laboratory like what we're doing right now, and we take core sample of the existing roadway. As you noticed earlier when we were coring, first you could see the thickness of the asphalt, and then the thickness of the if there's any base rock, and then from there it goes to the sub-base and then whatever clay material that are underneath. There's the core.
That's the core.
See how thin this sample now compared to the Yeah. So that's not even asphalt. This is what you call chip seal. This road has only been chip sealed before. This is a little thinner. This is completely asphalt, and you can see the rock gradation. And so this one I would say about 2.25 inch. So that basically tells us that we're going to need to do a different design than on the other side. Once we do that, then we take it to the lab and we do study on it. The term is called R value. It's resistant value test, which means basically it's to determine the stiffness of the existing soil. So what they do, they use this soil from different, location, and they do a pressure test on the soil that's underneath, and they'll see when does the soil break. So it's basically a correlation between pressure onto the roadway, and then they do it in the lab and trying to figure out exactly how that, work with the soil that we have out in the field. And based on the studies and based on the result from the test, we can determine what design criteria we are going to use that would last us for 10, 15, 20 years based on the design that we pick. For instance, if the soil is a little too wet and it fits in one criteria, we might use a design called FDR, full depth reclamation, meaning it's what you call a green project. We will come in and they will grind the surface and then everything stays here. We in the county, we will always like to do what you call a green project. So if we have to leave everything in place and bridge on it, be it, if that helps, because you don't want to grind all this material and haul it away, gas, trucks, traffic, expense. So we're trying to save, but make it green and leave it in place and then use the material that we can use and then build on it. All right? We're ready?
Next one.
Next one.